On Tuesday last week, I made a change to my workout routine, and by Friday I had set a personal best on my Vo2 Max, recorded my highest ever FTP result and got on the podium in a long Zwift race that had a monster hill in it and a category higher than I'm even supposed to be racing in. But this is not really a Zwift video, because whatever your sport, in fact whatever you do that you're already better at, the change I made should be of use to you. I just happen to have used it cycling on Zwift, so stick around. Even if you're not into wearing skin tight clothing while sweating over your laptop in your spare room after your wife's gone to bed and, I don't know, write the rest of the joke yourself. So if you follow my channel, you'll know that a couple of weeks ago I decided to stop racing in category C for Zwift sprints. Very simply, I am a solid Cat C rider, but I do quite well in sprints because I'm a big lump. And I'd gotten to the point where I was expecting to win or at least be top 3 in any short race. And that's great for the ego, but I thought it might be better for my actual fitness to step up a class and race with the B Cat riders, where I would get beat, but I'd also get pushed to be better. This video is therefore simple. Having made that switch to surround myself with people better than me, at least some of the time, what are the 5 benefits that I got straight away and why I recommend it for a performance boost, whatever your level and whatever your activity. Number 1, racing is exciting again. I've a lot of experience of starting sports and being at the back. My first park runs, almost last. My first obstacle course races, almost last. My first paddleboard race, I won that. Just kidding, almost last. Fell off actually. My first duathlon, almost last. I've got a 100k ultramarathon coming up this weekend. Don't even know if I'll finish it. And the same when I first started cycling in here last year on Zwift, back of the pack. I don't care. 20 years ago, I'd have hated it. I'd have avoided doing things where I expect to do badly. But I'm old enough now to know that no one gives a shit who comes where. And there is no better way to climb a ladder than start on rung number 1. But as I progress to being above average, always my long-term goal at whatever I'm doing, the allure of success takes over, and that is not always good. An example, last couple of years I've entered a local race that's a 1k paddleboard into a 5k run. 2019 third, last year second. The 2021 race is a few weeks away and I'm not looking forward to it the way I did a couple of years ago. Same thing on Zwift. I'd gotten to a place with C-Cat sprints where anything other than a win was disappointing. So I'd go into a race fearful of doing badly, stressed I might not crush it. But when I sat on the start of my first B-Cat race last Tuesday, I had none of that. I'm supposed to come last. I've got nothing to lose. If I beat anyone, I'm going to be delighted. I was simply excited to see how it went. And it went so well, I did another B-Cat sprint on Wednesday. Now, this is not a race review video, but I recorded that second race, so I'll stick the footage up anyway. I know there are some of you that will be very disappointed you've not so far seen any cartoon cycling. Now, I talk to so many people who are held back by the thought they might suck at something compared to those already doing it, whether that is moving up at the top end or coming in at the bottom end, and so they don't even try. But you should be freed up by the thought that you might suck. If you do, so what? You thought you would anyway. And no one cares but you. But what if you don't? And be sensible, statistically most of the time, why would you? I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day. She recently ran a PB 10k at 1 hour 10 minutes on her own. I said, that's great, you'll be at 1 hour before you know it. She said, no way, I'm not even close. I said, you are? I said, the best way to find out is go run a local fun 10k, because nothing will get you shifting a little quicker than a bunch of other people around you shifting a little quicker. She said, I can't do that, I'm way too slow. 1 hour 10 on a 10k, I said there'll be people there walking from halfway coming in over 2 hours. You're not going to be in sight of the winners, they'll be on their way home before you get to halfway. But you aren't going to be last, and you're going to go faster than ever, and you're going to go home with a smile. Bottom line, find people better than you, go for it, enjoy it. Number 2, you improve your weaknesses. When everybody around you is better than you, you have to improve to keep up, and there's no shortcuts. In a C category race, I'd gotten used to ignoring the draft effect, racing inefficiently, and then just dropping big watts with a few hundred meters to go. Or if somebody breaks away, just blast after them, catch them back up again. I couldn't do that in this race, because these guys can drop similar watts but don't ride like idiots. Being a one-trick pony, I suddenly realised I was low on tricks. So I watched what they did. I stayed off the front, I sat in the pack, stayed aerodynamic, conserved energy, watched for breakaways because if they go, they're gone. And stating the obvious, it all worked. I found it easier to stay with them, sat amongst them, riding with a bit more thought. I simply got better because I was forced to do so. No longer able to just assume my power would get me out of trouble. So I avoided getting in trouble. I didn't get dropped. I dug deep on the hills to stay with them. I made sure I had no weak areas, or at least less weak areas. I've had similar in obstacle course racing. I used to just do sprint races where being strong meant the heavy carries and the strength obstacles I was very quick at, and it allowed me to stay up with the better runners. But when I started doing long distance events, doing a hoist 30 seconds faster than the next guy, that's useless when he then runs twice as fast as me over a 4-hour course. When it's 99% running, being good at 1% of the race is not enough. So I went away and I got better at running. I started doing marathons, I started doing ultra marathons. I went back able to run and carry heavy stuff and found myself getting above average results. Number 3, you have so much more fun. I'm not here in this race at halfway worried about losing the sprint finish or wondering if someone's lied about their height and weight and sandbagging so I can line up some excuses for later. I'm just pedaling along thinking, oh my God, I'm not last. I was simply enjoying myself. This was just a laugh. Tough as hell, but all my adrenaline was positive for what might happen as opposed to negative for what might not. I did a 10k last year off-road, set my fastest ever 10k time on that race. Why? Because halfway around a bunch of kids came past. 18, 19-year-olds, floppy hair, all in the same running club kit. Anyway, faster than me, except I thought, I'm not getting beaten today by somebody with floppy hair, and I chase after them. No expectation of ever catching them, but the last 2k was downhill through a wood. That sort of running is sometimes more about bravery and stupidity than actual running ability. I tore down that hill, Rocky 4 in the earphones, overtook them all, and as soon as I was out in front, unencumbered by running through a fog of Lynx deodorant, I pulled away from them, laughing and exhausted. It was an amazing, fun race. Went in, zero expectations, found people better than me, had fun. Didn't get beaten by anybody with floppy hair and smelling like a boy band, and got a great result. 3rd overall, 47 years of age, 220 pounds, nuts. Which brings me to number 4. Better competition yields better results. Whatever your best is, it's probably not. Unless you're a top-end athlete who knows exactly how to extract every ounce, you have untapped potential. My PB for a deadlift, you could add 10 kilograms to it, drop it on my dog, and I'm picking that thing up off of him like it's nothing. If you're thinking your dog, surely your wife is more motivating. Yes, but if she sees this, she'll be like, only 10 kg? Is that what I am to you? 10 kg on your PB? Anyway, when you need to dig in, you can often find some extra. And when everyone is going faster than you, you need to dig in. End of this race, the Wednesday one, 300 metres left, and I realise I am not going to be last now, and the job is now not be bloody 8th either. I get after it. I get 4th in a Cat B race. I was over the moon. In the Tuesday race, I got on 5th. 5th and 4th in a Cat C, I'd be like, whatever. But this was an amazing result for me, and faster than I'd ever ridden these courses before. There is no doubt. You put yourself into a situation where the competition around you is elevated, and you are more likely to step up your own game. Will you do so enough to match those around you? I doubt it, not at first, but you'll be a better version of you. More on results at the end, because the last benefit is going back down the ladder in comparison to those around you. Number 5, it makes you hungry to climb again. When you reach the top of something, all you have to worry about is falling off. But on the way up, all the focus is on just that, climbing higher. Every time I come away from something that I've been a bit rubbish at, all I want to do is go back and have another go. When I fell off my paddleboard in that first race, I was mentally signing up for the next one before I even came to the surface of the river. And so it was with Zwift. On Friday, I signed up for a race I've done before, almost an hour-long race with 2 laps of Box Hill, so not something I want to do in the B class. So my plan all along had only been to do B races over very short sprints. So I joined the C category, and I'm sat waiting for it to start. Just over a minute to go, and I think, screw it, what is the worst that can happen? In this race, B and C start at the same time, so if I race in B and they all leave me, whatever, I'll ride with the Cs. But what if one of the Bs is having an off day? I might not be last in a long B race with a climb, and that sounds cool. So I jump into it with a few seconds to go, and we are off. And it's a brilliant race. Here's a real quick recap. Early on, the Bs and Cs group up. Then there's a hill, it splits us, it leaves me with another B and the fast Cs. But as we start the climb, the Bs aren't miles ahead. The climb is grim, but as we start the descent, I spot a couple of Bs that gotten dropped from the main pack, and they aren't even riding together. No way they'll be as fast as our group on their own. Sure enough, we catch one at the bottom of the hill. We catch the other just before the start of lap 2. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's halfway, and it's now 3 Bs, not that much better than me. Not today. So jump to halfway up the hill, lap 2, and I spot the 2 slower Bs fall a second behind me, crank out some watts, put enough of a gap on them that they are now dropped. And I get after the 3rd one who's gotten away from me. But I do it smart. I ride with this fast C. We take it in turns to draft each other, ride sensible, not just relying on stupidly exerted power that comes from nothing more than being big. Having said that, being big has its benefits because I catch the B without even having to pedal on the downhill section. And that was it. 3 of us racing for the line. And while I said I don't want to use my power in the wrong place, in the right place, power is power. It works just fine. And the results, and this is where it gets cool. 4 days after my first proper B ride, I'm getting off the bike in here after that race, and suddenly Zwift pops up and says my FTP is now 318, highest ever. Then my Garmin pings away, tells me my Vo2 Max has gone to superior, and I look on Zwift Power, I got 3rd place. Sure, wasn't a packed race, but even so, I beat people. And if you're just a race yourself type, well, the last time I did this course as a C, I won it on Zwift Power, but I was 2.5 minutes slower, so I beat myself too. Most of the Bs, yeah, they're ahead of me, but I had the best Zwift ride ever and I got real results from it. As always, the objective for me is just to be above average. I'm not interested in achieving results that require a level of time and effort and commitment that I simply don't have. I don't want to be brilliant at something because I know it just comes at the expense of something else. But if I can dip my toe into the water with those that are really, really good and get pulled along with them now and then, before then returning to where I feel happiest, but a little bit improved, I'm all for that. Bottom line, if you are thinking I'm not ready for my first park run, or I'll be too slow in a 10k, or my bike isn't quite fast enough for a duathlon, you might be right, but do it anyway, because I guarantee you that afterwards you'll be ahead of where you were. And the people that you surrounded yourself with, the ones better than you, maybe, they don't care that you're there. Dive in, go with them, get pulled along, get better, have fun. Right, give the video a like because it makes me happy when you do that. Subscribe because it makes me even more happy, and stick your feedback and your comments down below. I'm out of here.